Mr. Chidambaram, on this sad day, your abiding memory of Pranab Mukherjee, what made him stand out as a Bharat Ratna?
Well, my abiding memory of Mr. Mukherjee is his remarkable adaptability. In the 1970s, he was a confirmed socialist. He was the author of many Congress and Congress Working Committee resolutions where he plugged for socialism. In 1991, when we moved on to a new era of liberalization, for a moment I think he was a little out of his depth, but very quickly adapted. I remember he telling me once, I know that Prime Minister and you are very keen on reform and change and getting rid of all the controls and regulations. Please remember that I belong to a different age 25 years ago. But I won't stand in your way, and I will adapt as soon as I can. And he did adapt. He held a variety of portfolios: Deputy Chairman, Planning Commission, Commerce Minister, External Affairs Minister, Defense Minister, Finance Minister. But he quickly adapted to the new era, and he participated in the liberalization as if he was a natural-born liberalizer.
You know, Mr. Chidambaram, the media in particular posed you and Pranab Mukherjee at opposite ends in a way of the spectrum. There was there was constant talk of a clash of personalities. At a personal level, how would you describe your relationship with Pranab? Was he at the end of the day a consensus builder who could walk across the political aisle and build consensus in the truest sense?
He was. We had very different points of view in 1991 and subsequently. We continue to have different points of view in 2004. But remember, the two ministers were constantly thrown together in groups of ministers, numerous groups of ministers, numerous committees, numerous cabinet meetings, by Mr. Mukherjee and I. If you look at the records of those days, the cabinet minutes and the group of ministers' minutes, there would have been no issue in which we were not thrown together. We were asked to knock our heads together and come up with a solution. He was a senior. He was the chairman of the groups of ministers. And I was providing the inputs, but he was always looking for a solution. You think if there was bitterness, we could have worked together for so long? For 10 years, I handed over the finance ministry to him. He handed back the finance ministry to me. All that would have been possible. I think these are exaggerated stories.
Let me therefore ask you, in conclusion, Mr. Chidambaram, who is the politician with the greater elephantine memory and drafting skills? Both of you are known for that. Who was the better at drafting an elephantine memory of the Constitution?
He was a foremost draftsman of a different age. But when the new liberalization era dawned, he happily handed over the drafting responsibility to others, including me. But in terms of elephantine memory, I have not come across anyone who can go back 40 years, 50 years into the history of the Congress and pull out nuggets from history. He can remember dates. He could remember exact voting numbers, voting percentages of past elections, how many seats each party won, what percentage of votes it got, which seat it won. He has an elephantine memory. I mean, I believe my memory is good, but I don't believe my memory was a patch on his formidable memory.
Mr. Chidambaram, I'm sure you will miss Pranab Mukherjee as a colleague with whom you worked, as you said, for several years. I appreciate your joining us and giving us a sense of Pranab Mukherjee, the man. Thank you.